Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Press Box. I apologize that we're late. It's my fault. I made poor Shane wait. He's probably not going to invite me to any football games this year.
You're good, Brian.
Uh, we have. First of all, I always say that. How you doing, Kenny?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. How about yourself?
Well, okay. I just, the whole health situation really sucks, but
Mm.
I'm getting better slowly but surely. You know how it is. It's a long process. It can be. All right. Well, everybody, you don't have to look twice to see. Our guest tonight is Mifflin County football coach Shane Breon, and we're going to talk about his golf tournament that's coming up here. Is that Saturday?
It's the 27th, Friday the 27th.
Oh, that's right. Jeez, and I even wrote a story on it. The 27th. Shane, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. And once again, I'm sorry about making you wait.
No, you're good.
So you had this last year. Obviously, it was successful because you're doing it again. Wonder what did you learn from the first one that you applied into this into the second annual?
Yeah, last year was our first one, so we went through some growing pains, I guess you could say. But we took feedback from the golfers, and we're having a sit down meal this year before the before the tee off. We're trying to. Last year was a success. We had, I think, 21 teams. I think we're up to 15 or 16 right now. So I'm expecting to meet that, if not exceed that amount of teams till tournament time. And sponsorship has been great. So it just proves that the people around here care about their sports. And I can't thank the sponsors and the guys that are going to be playing golf, enough for supporting our program.
And you have competitions like closest to the tee, and
yeah,
was that there last year, or did you add these?
Oh, you're jogging my memory. I think we had some of them. I know we added a putting contest, I believe, this year, and I think we may have added another one or two, possibly on the course. But all good stuff. And Tara Reeder, she has headed up our kind of our golf committee within the boosters. She did a great job, and I'm really looking forward to everybody showing up and having fun. And like I said, I can't thank everybody enough for coming out and supporting the program.
Now you got. Did you have a meal last year?
I lost you there a little bit, Brian.
Did you have a meal last year?
We had food on the course, but depending on where you started on the course, it took a while to get to it. So that was definitely the big thing that we took out of the feedback last year, and we're gonna fix that this year. So everybody has an opportunity to eat before we go out and play, and then they can hang out afterwards. Obviously, if they want to, have a few drinks and get something else to eat for dinner.
Yeah, you got some good food lined up, man. It's like chicken, pulled pork, mac and cheese, salads, desserts, beverages.
Yeah, it should be good. Every time I've eaten there, for golf tournaments, it's been good food. So I hope everybody comes hungry, and they can register at 10. Go hit some balls and come back and for lunch. But tee offs at 1, so just gotta make sure we're ready to go. But
now
be a lot of people down in there, I'm sure, before we tee off.
Yeah, you got it's like $100 per person, right, and $400 for a team and they get 2 carts.
Yep.
Correct. Okay.
Yep. 2 carts. Yep. And obviously the meals included. We're giving away I got great feedback on our football hats last year, so we made a decision to get a bunch more of them made up, and we're going to give them out to every golfer.
Yeah, they're nice. They're pretty nice.
Yeah. So and we got some other another gift or two probably for them too. I'm not quite sure what all we have going on, but I don't want to. One of them I want to be a secret for everybody, but so I think I'm hoping the guys feel like they're getting value out of the tournament. We enjoyed doing it. I know it's a lot of work for Tara and the golf committee, but I think it's cool to bring everybody together, and it's for for a football program. And like I said, our sponsors have been fantastic. We're well over what we had last year, and if we can match or get a couple more teams than what we had last year, golf wise. I might have lost you. It might be my connection here. I might have lost you guys a little bit.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit. It's all right. It's all right. We'll plow through it. You gotta like really the way, and you've mentioned this before, how our community supports sports in the area, and especially with your football team. You gotta like that. You gotta love that.
Yeah, and that's what it's that's what I hope people understand. Outside of Mifflin County, I don't think people realize the support that we do have here. Down where I'm from, I don't think they just don't understand the support we have here. And we're doing the best we can to make sure that we take that and put a good good competitive team on the field. And we're working hard. I got kids working hard already this summer. Some of the other kids were playing baseball. Things are starting to win more, and I'm excited to get everybody back and get them out here and running around. And
I don't think people realize too how expensive it is to field a high school football team.
Yeah. Actually, you figure we've had anywhere. I think on my first year here, we had up around 130 football players, grade 7 through 12. So that's a pretty good number, and I think we're a little bit less than that right now. But registrations aren't officially concluded until July 28th. So there's still time for other folks who haven't registered yet to register their kids. But so it's a lot of players. It's a lot of equipment that you have to maintain, and our trainers do a good job keeping track of our helmets and things like that when they expire, and ordering new ones, and a lot of team wear. You multiply, and you try to get everybody a short and a shirt. At times 100 125. That adds up. And team meals. We've meals catered in for our games on Fridays, and then to kind of replenish the kids, and that's always nice when you come off a road game and you got something to eat there right away when you get on the bus. So everything we're doing is for the kids, and to make this program the best it can be. And the support's been fantastic, and everything that we've tried to do here, we've been able to do it because of the community support and the business support.
And I don't think people realize either even just to do this golf tournament, the organization that you have to get this thing going. How you mentioned Tara Reeder. How are your volunteers, your helpers? I mean, is it just a smooth operation? Everybody doing their part?
Yeah. Brandy Parks has taken over as our Booster Club president this year. She's done a good job. We've got Deanna Ruster kind of was handling our meals last year. Jen Ray is involved now in the Booster Club. My expectations, this year and previous years, and definitely this year so far already. But we're always looking for help. There's about 6 of us, and I kind of do the football stuff, but they handle all the other things, and we're always looking for help, always looking for new ideas. When you say about expense, I was looking at a similar size program out in Western PA in the WPIL, Cannon McMillan. I was looking at some of their information on their website, and the amount of money that they raise out there, it was unbelievable what they spend. And no, we're not near that, and I don't know that we need to be near that, but it is amazing. I don't even know what our budget is, but I know it's a lot, and there's been a lot of money been spent and donated and spent for our kids the last 3 years. So and like I said, the golf tournament's one of our main fundraisers. We had a cornhole tournament back in March, I believe. We had like 85 players and raised a lot of money, and we're doing that next year as well already. We have it scheduled already. So just those things. It's just great to see everybody come out and support the program and have fun. And I know the community sports, the other sports, in Mifflin County here as well. So for my position.
Yeah, we need to get that NIL money too.
Yeah, how about it?
Yeah, just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah.
It's going to start soon, though, Shane. You're seeing college guys get this money. It's going to happen in high school. It's going to happen in high school too if a kid's exceptional.
Oh yeah, it's already. Yeah, it's been unofficially happening already, but
yeah,
places. But
but some of it is staggering. I read in the Athletic where Cooper Flagg for his 1 year at Duke got $28 million.
Oh yeah, yep.
Is that ridiculous?
Yep. And these college kids now, they can make more money playing college football than they can being a rookie in the NFL. So
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I mean, they're not amateurs anymore at all.
Really. So.
Yeah, they're not amateurs at all anymore.
Yeah, some of the money those kids are making, especially the quarterbacks, is pretty impressive.
Yeah. Kenny.
Yes.
We got to go and try to make a comeback at age 50, at age 53 and 58.
I can't even get out of a chair without hurting, so I don't think that's going to be in my books.
I got one up on you, buddy. I don't even have a leg anymore. I'll be the first. I'll be the first high school quarterback with prosthetic.
Yeah.
We're going to try to get some NIL from Shane.
Yeah. I'm waiting for my budget to come in.
We're fine, Shane. We'll play just for like a McDonald's breakfast.
Yeah.
So this year cash prizes, because I guess from when I talked to you from when you gave me your quotes, they didn't really want the golf club certificates or whatever you were giving them last year. They want money. What is that? Why you decide? I said they want cash prizes now instead of the golf store credits.
Yeah, that was the other feedback we got last year too. I forgot to mention. Yeah, it seemed like guys were, playing a lot of tournaments there, and they were looking for something different. So we're trying to do the cash prizes this year, and let's make it interesting. There's some good golfers around here. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
Some of
I
the
know.
some of the scores last year were pretty impressive. Um,
Are you going to play?
Yeah, I'm going to play. Yep, I'm trying to get a team together here. Last year I played with Deacon Schaefer and Landon Eichhorn and Deacon's dad. So we're trying to get the crew back together again this year. And Deacon just texted me actually about half an hour ago here about it. So we'll be one of the teams that we need to match last year's count. We're going to register here at some point this week or next week.
So what kind of golfer are you?
I can hack it around okay. I really haven't played much this year. Been really busy with work and family things, and but I'll be hitting the driving range here a little bit, and I can usually hack around mid 80s. You know,
That's not
go out there and have
bad.
fun no matter what.
Wow.
It's better than working on a Friday. So that I do know.
I know. I don't know if he comes to your tournament, but I know Mark Hadley was a good golfer.
Yeah. Yep.
He was.
Yep. Yeah, there's some good players. I mean, I think the winning score last year was for a 4-man scram. I think it was 15 under, something like that. So
Wow.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Ed Stort gave us a like. Ed, do you play?
Yeah, Ed played last year. Yep.
All right.
Yep. Ed's been a big supporter. Appreciate Ed. And,
Oh yeah, Ed's a good guy.
Yep.
So when does your? I know it goes. This money goes towards. You said some equipment and shirts, and it also helps fund your 7-on-7. When do the 7-on-7 start for you? Did we break up again?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So all the money, the money we raise, we've got all of our off-season stuff. We've been able to improve the weight room a little bit. I'm looking to build off of that, and we've got some really old equipment in there. I'm trying to, we'd like to raise some money and get out of there and get some new stuff in there. Our team meals, like I said, our 7-on-7 tournaments. We're going to Penn State next Friday for the 7-on-7 tournament and big man challenge. So, all of our guys that go to that are going to get, competition in 7-on-7, and then linemen, they do drills with Penn State coaches and get one-on-one stuff. And that's all paid for through the boosters, which is paid through fundraising, obviously. We have locker rooms this year for the first time. We're going to have locker rooms on our practice field. And so it'll be the first time kids in Mifflin County have had their own locker. So we're going to be getting name tags for their lockers. What else? Anything we do. Team camp. We went to team camp. We spent a lot of money the last couple of years, and talking to some other guys, coaching colleagues. They're starting to go every other year, every 3 years, so every kid gets to experience a team camp. The model we're looking at camp this year. So we're trying to get. I'm going to try to be trying harder now, to get teams to come into us, so we can have our team camp here. We have our weight room here. We have all of our equipment here, and we'll still treat it like a camp. Be a mandatory 2-day thing, where we practice in the morning, have team building, eat lunch, practice in the afternoon, have team building, eat a dinner, and then go out in the evening. So it'll be 6 extra practices we'll get in. And like I said, I'm trying to get some teams to come to us. So we have interactions with other teams, and probably be like an hour practice, and then an hour of interaction, 7-on-7. And then, the big guys can do some one-on-one stuff too, just kind of like we're going to be doing at Penn State. So
what do you, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I said, do you know that it's getting almost done? What do you think of the new stadium?
I think it's going to be awesome. I was able to get into the locker room where kids are going to be keeping their stuff, and I think there's 84 lockers in there. We got a big whiteboard in the coach's room, so which is going to be great. So as far as that goes, we'll be able to install things. We have huddle, the kids can see that, but I think seeing it visually on the whiteboard, um, something and you can test them and have them come up and go over their responsibilities and learn on the whiteboard and there's no more traveling. Last year we had to travel, lift weights at the high school and then drive into the middle school. So from a practice perspective, it's gonna be great. And then stadium's awesome. I was just talking to Coach Himes today, and he's painting for the district, and he was up on top of the press box, and he said the views are incredible. And I think the field's incredible. If you look at the fields, I mean, they're just incredible. And I can't wait to get on them. The kids can't wait to get on them, but we just have to wait for some of the asphalting to be done in the parking lots, and probably I guess I don't know, but probably things probably have to be signed off on. I'm guessing, so make sure that everything was done right and to
Right.
spec, so we can get out there. But we're doing what we can now. We're practicing at the junior high field here now, the grass field down below the junior high, and once we get up there, that'll be great, and everybody's looking forward to it. The scoreboard's going to be awesome. Um, I guess they had the lights running today where they're blinking when you score a touchdown, and I think it's just going to be, going to be fantastic. And I hope everybody appreciates, the folks that made that. Everybody's going to be, first game. And I think Tish said, every game they're going to be recognizing folks that help make it happen. And again, it's just, speaking of just golf tournament, you're talking about a project like that where people come together, and you got people like Joel Diamond and Johnny P and going out and raising money, and it's just incredible. They've done that, and how it's all come together, and we're almost there. Not quite there, but we're almost there, and it's going to be great for all the sports teams here in Mifflin County.
Yeah, they impressed the hell out of me because, truthfully, I was like, in the back of my mind, I was hoping, but I was also going with Joel and John because I've had them on the show. We've had them on the show a couple times. I was like, dudes, how are you going to raise this kind of money?
Yep, yep,
And it happened. It
yep,
happened. It was awesome.
yep. It's amazing, and all the way up to Vance Varner, superintendent. I mean, what a good guy, and that making sure that goes through, and that was a lot of people's vision, and then to see it come to fruition now is awesome. I mean, the baseball field, turf, and there's playing field. Yeah, I can't wait to see. It may take a couple years for everybody to get used to it and familiar with it, but I think you're going to see a competitive equaling, a balancing for every sport that uses the fields.
Yeah, and God, I know Mitchell Field. There was some people that were still trying to hang on to it and didn't want to see this, but Lord, Mitchell Field, it had its days.
Yeah,
It was actually, I thought it was actually starting to get embarrassing for Mifflin County because I'd go, like, before you took over the job, when they were in different divisions of the Mid Penn, you go down to Little West Perry, and hell, they got a better stadium than we did.
yeah, yeah,
It's like, Lord Almighty.
yeah, yeah. You know, the turf versus grass thing's one thing, but talking about schools, Mabroonian Springs, down where I'm from, I'm about 15 minutes away from there. They went turf. They've got, I don't know how many turf fields they have, but everything turf down there now. It's just it's a football team just won a district championship. So I think when you get these facilities, the kids are excited. You have to practice more. You can practice all year round, basically, if you want to. Get out in the field. It just comes out. Get out there, but it's really going to give us an opportunity. Starting next year, to get out earlier and maybe do some things on Saturdays when you can't get out in the spring when the fields are still muddy and it's rainy and stuff. But
Mhm.
um, it's definitely going to help balance the playing field with the other teams in Mid Penn. I think Palmyra might be the only team that has a grass field now that we play on. Northern too, um, but there's not many schools out there now that don't have turf facilities. At least one, a stadium.
Yeah, hell, I graduated from Bald Eagle area, and they've had turf for years,
Yep,
and
yep.
it's like the big event up there is like cow chip throwing and stuff,
Mm.
Yeah, they have
and
a nice little complex there. Yep.
yeah, and they still had turf. But do you think indirectly, well, directly, that more kids will want to come out to just experience and play on that field? I guess you broke up again. My
Yeah, man. I
question
hope.
was,
Yeah, I mean,
oh, okay.
I hope so. I hope so. Like I said, right now our numbers are down just a little bit. We're off about eight kids probably on varsity, and from where we were last year. Like I said, there's still registration. People just might not have registered yet. Um, um, but yeah, I'm hoping so. I think, yeah, and I'm hoping, even people that want to move into this area realize they can come up here and, I know Vance has already talked about, people coming here and seeing the facilities, that maybe they want to move here, and you start getting people wanting to come into this area just for the facilities too. So, um, but it's definitely beautiful. We can't wait to get out there. I mean, I think it's gonna be awesome for this county, and I think for local businesses, if we can get this team camp thing going, I know some of the other sports are probably going to try to do some things, and hopefully we can get teams in here, and our restaurants and things you benefit from it, and um, just keep growing. Everything keeps growing, and the opportunities we have to get out there, like I said,
And I know,
and
I believe one of the things that are going to happen is we're going to get into all sports. We're with the facility we got. We're going to get playoff games now.
Mhm.
oh
District
yeah,
six
yeah,
playoff
absolutely.
games.
Yep, absolutely. I think if you look at where we're at, it makes sense. Definitely, and that's gonna be huge for every the community, and um, yeah, just forgot what I was gonna say something else there, but yeah, definitely, and yeah, we're gonna try to host a Leisure Lumber All Star game next year.
Oh, awesome!
Nice,
That
nice.
sounds like that's gonna be. I know the Coaches Association, the Central Pennsylvania Coaches Association, I think is for it. Um, I was talking to Tom Shear emailed me and was thinking that's the way it's going to go. Tom does a lot of work with the organization, and
Yeah,
Mhm.
so we're going to try to do it this year. But I think they wanted to have the first football game be a high school game instead of an all star game. So, but that'll be great. There's a lot of people. I was at the games the last couple of years, and there are a lot of people. More than you think attend that game. So
You said back a little while ago about having to lift weights and then go down to the middle school to do your practices. Do you think having this new stadium now will? I know that there's certain um, some mental aspects of it where you have more continuity. You won't be broke up having to take a bus ride across town. You'd have more time down on the field. Do you think that that's going to be a positive for you as well?
yeah, absolutely. I think it's the way it's always been done, right? You get a bus at the school and you drive into Mitchell Field, and you know, I'm kind of shielded from a lot of what goes on behind the scenes with all the equipment, the video stuff. Bob Douglas and the guys, typically take care of all that, but not having to do that every single week on a Friday night's gonna free those guys up a little bit too to enjoy our pregame stuff, our pregame meal, and things like that. Because sometimes those guys, they don't get a chance to participate because they're busy getting everything loaded up to go in town and or to our away games. So um, and just having everything here, we can lift here, we can walk right down to the stadium from the weight room, and it's just a game changer. It really is. Scheduling last year was really tough. Got really frustrating at times. I know there was 2 weeks there where we got a lot of rain and we could barely practice, on the field because it was just down to the dirt and mud, and they couldn't even really we couldn't even almost there were practices we didn't even really try to throw the ball because it was just too rainy and too messy. And hopefully, like I said, these fields are going to allow us to get out there and do more. It's still going to rain, obviously, but you're not slopping around in the muck. Um, we'll be able to get prepared for games a little bit easier. And from a scheduling standpoint, there's going to be a lot of teams vying for the field here.
Uh-oh, I think he froze.
Yeah.
Those right teams, be we're going to be flexible with field time and practice time. Maybe share a field or something. I don't know how it's going to work out. Tish is working on that scheduling stuff right now, so don't envy her. She's got a hard job to do there, trying to get all the practices and who's practicing where, around all the games that are going to be taking place up here. So, but let's be flexible, and it's going to be some growing pains there too, trying to get schedules arranged with practices and things. But we'll do what we need to do, and it's better than what we had to do last year, regardless. So, and having the facilities, everything here, the big whiteboards, and being able to meet and lift and do what we need to do um, off the field is going to be great.
Awesome. How do you feel about your thoughts on playing on the turf?
hmm I think it's going to be great. I know there's always some people aren't fans of turf. Um, but I can tell you, I would rather play on turf than some of the grass fields that I've coached on in the past. And you know, um, I've seen. This is just my experience. I've seen more injuries on grass than I have on turf. I'm talking major injuries like knees and broken ankles and things like that. Than I've seen on turf. And I think we try to. I like to think we have some fast kids, so I think turf. I think it makes us even look faster. Every team could be like that, I guess. But um, I know we put times we've played on turf, we've looked pretty fast. We play some fast teams too, but um, I think it's going to be great. I think like I said, the kids are really excited. And that's what's cool for me to see is they're really excited to get out there, and it's a lot easier to practice on turf too. There's all lines and landmarks you can use. Being able to have your receivers go to the top of the numbers versus the bottom of the numbers. Sometimes on the grass fields you don't have all those markings out there and not as evident. So just from a details perspective, the markings on the field are going to be huge for us to be able to practice on and get that spacing down. So it's really looking forward to that. As in Central York, we had to share field time, but get on the turf and the kids could just go right through landmarks. And if we have two receivers on each side, they know exactly where they're lining up. Versus being on grass, sometimes when the grass starts growing and the paint wears off, it's hard to see what your spacing is, and that changes everything. In the passing game that we're trying to run. So it should definitely help us.
Awesome. Coaching. I want to get your perspective on this. It's pretty much become an all year round thing, hasn't it? Even in high school.
Yeah, it has. I mean, I look at I like to take you know um, when the season ends, you get about a month reprieve, after the banquet. But once January hits, you're back in full mode again. You've got all-star things to worry about, trying to get kids into all-star games. So you're doing all that kind of work, writing them up and trying to get them, talking to college coaches, trying to get kids opportunities. responding to them, reaching out to them. Um, and it just seems like everything runs together, and before you know it, you're back in June again, and you're in football mode again. So not a lot of break. You go to clinics, you try to pick up an idea or two here or there that you can try to implement. Um, and I do a lot of research personally, in the months that I'm between November and end of the season and in January. I do a lot of research, and we were able to go to the other thing. The fundraising supported our staff this year. We were able to go to the Pennsylvania State Coaches Association. I think we were able to take 16 coaches there, or 16 coaches were um, members of the association. I think we could take 7 to the clinics. So we had guys get down to Camp Hill for the clinic. That's the first time we were able to do that, and so that was good. And you always pick up things at the clinics that just little tweak here or there to what you're doing, and guys have great ideas there. They're good presenters, and but just really looking forward to once we get things straightened out. Like I said, we can't get out there on the field yet, but I'm just really excited for this season and excited for our kids to be able to experience that. Um, I think running out in that field the first time is going to be electric. So
Oh yeah,
it's going to be
yeah.
really awesome for our kids to experience, and I can't wait for them to experience that.
I think it's going to be electric for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even
absolutely.
even the fans and
Yep.
the coaches. So like football changes. Like
Yeah.
I'm back. I'm old enough. I'm back in the days when it was like 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and
Yeah.
your running backs, like the Miami Dolphins had 3 running backs, and almost all three almost had 1,000 yards. Morris Kick
Yeah.
and Zonka, and then we've gone to 3 receivers. The fullbacks dead in football. What do you see? What trends do you see, if any, coming down the road
Hmm.
in football?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, I know. I think when you look at some of the teams that still run like the wing T and things like Shippensburg, um, you've really got to. That's a hard offense to practice for. Anybody that runs an option, veer options, it's hard to practice against. I mean, we didn't put an option, we put a veer in against Milton Hershey, a couple years ago, and Deacon ran for I think 250 yards. So um, I think, from my perspective, you got to do what you think is best based on what you have player wise, and we're going to try to run more two back this year than we have in the past. I think we got 2 kids that are going to be able to be, two and more kids that are going to be able to run the ball. Um, so you'll probably see some of that from us. I think you're going to see probably some more jumbo sets. Jumbo sets and unbalanced sets seem to be, if I would have to say anything, those are the things that seem to be catching steam now. The unbalanced things, you can do a lot of different things out of it. We ran some unbalanced last year and had some success. So we're probably going to do a little bit more of that as well this year. But I mean, I think all, like I said, those are the trends. I think ultimately, you got to put your best dudes out there, and it gives you the best chance to win. And that's what we're going to try to do. Doesn't always work out the way you think, but you know, um, you take the best advice and your gut feeling. And you go with what you think's going to be best for your team, and that's what you got to do.
Nice. Kenny, you got any questions? I know I'm hogging it all.
Oh, you're fine. This is just a kind of an odd question. With a lot of sports nowadays goes to like a specialization. A lot of kids are going just to one sport. What do you what do you prefer to see the kids do? The specialization or playing different sports to throughout their
Mhm.
seasons?
Yeah, I promote kids playing other sports. It's not like that everywhere. It's not like that, certain places. And some of that's the kids when the kids want to just take up one sport, and that's what they love to do, and they do it. Other times, I think maybe the parents, force the kids into one sport. Um, but ultimately, from my perspective, I'd like to see them play other sports. I think any competition you get is good, whether it's baseball, basketball, whatever. I just, I just hope that we see the, the other end of that too. Where these kids, the athletes want to come out and play football, and I think we've done a pretty good job of that and getting the kids that we need to get. But uh, yeah, I'm a big supporter of multi sports. I think football is one of the sports that, you know, being a contact sport like it is, it's hard to do things all year round. Where these other sports can, I got kids that are they're going baseball, basketball, stuff all year round, and it's hard to do that in football, unless you have a flag leg or you get a team together to go participate in these 7-on-7 travel teams and things like that. But linemen, they really don't have, there's not a lot they can do from a contact standpoint with football, other than go to clinics and you know, you know different things to try to get better. But and I think you'll see, like Spooky Nook, kids go to Spooky Nook and things like that, get training. I think that's great. I've seen kids get down there and improve. But yeah, I mean, I'm all for kids playing other sports. It's just tough as a football coach, like you said, when it's sports are all year round. It seems like every sport's all year round now. Football, when it gets to June, man, I'm ready to go. And I just, we don't have all our guys because we're still in baseball and things like that. But um, so that's a hard thing for me, I guess. But um, this is what it is, and this is, I enjoy hearing the kids' stories from playing other sports and watching the sports and following them. And um, I just hopefully in July or mid-July here we get our guys back and the full team, and we can start going at it here a little bit. But getting everything installed is always tough. When you only have one scrimmage, that kind of even pushes you back even further, where you got to get started a little bit earlier if you want to get everything installed. Back when we played, there were three practices a day in the summer. We had a week of 3-a-days, and you don't really have that anymore unless you go to a camp or what we're trying to do, host a camp. So, but we'll be ready to go week one. We'll figure it out, and we'll be ready to go week one. And I hope these kids, get to play these other sports. If they can't get a scholarship in football, I hope they get it in baseball or whatever other sport they're playing. And I fully support whatever they're trying to accomplish for themselves. And if that's where the opportunity comes, then I'm glad they're doing it and take that opportunity. We're trying to get more kids recruited in football. I think we had 5 this year. I think that's the most since I've been here. So we're getting kids out. Kids are going to camps now. They're getting seen by college guys, and that's part of the summer stuff too. Is kids are going and they're not here to practice because they're going to camps and things. So anyway, that was a long answer to your question. But,
No, I kind of agree with you. No, I'm not saying it's good or bad, but
yeah,
and I'm not busting on parents, but I think from my perspective, what I've seen and heard, it is a lot of parents. They're worried if their kids play other, they're focusing on one sport, and they're worried if they play other sports, they're going to get hurt,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's going to cost them in that sport. And then on the other hand, if you are really exceptional at one, like Trent Hidley is at wrestling, then I honestly don't see the need to play anything else because
yeah, yeah,
that's what you decided is your sport and that you want to be great at.
yep, yep. Yeah, no, like I said, when the kid decides that's what he wants to do, man, go for it. I have no problem with that.
See
That's
me, I never had to focus on one sport. I was bad at everything.
yeah, yeah. I think
That's why Kenny and I became writers.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah. I think there's I know of a couple organizations that not around here, but their travel the and I don't want to bash anybody, but you get these travel coaches and they kind of threaten these kids. Oh, if you don't show up, you're going to start
Yeah,
on Sunday.
let's bash
Yeah,
travel
yeah,
baseball.
yeah. So and that's where I have a problem with these travel guys are saying you have to be here. Especially when there's another sport going on that those
Yeah.
kids are participating in. That's where I have a little bit of an issue with it. But again, it comes down to the kid and the parent. If that's what they want to do, then that's what they're going to do. We had a kid at Central York. He got called into or got recruited for a 7-on-7 team, and he tore his ACL. Was a running back, and he tore his ACL. And he didn't get to play. I think he played the last game of the season as a senior, so he missed his whole senior year because his travel guys wanted him to, participate in the 7-on-7 thing, and
Uh,
that's where it gets. That
yeah.
was a tough one because he was a great kid. He's actually at East Stroudsburg now, so he was still able to go to college for football. But that's where it's tough for me, I guess, when the travel guys are trying to dictate over the high school folks, and that's not just in here. That's you look at Texas, you look at these other states. I'm on
Oh yeah.
forums. It's everywhere. It's even worse down down some of the southern states. So um, we're travel guys are trying to keep the other kids from playing for high schools and things like that. But yeah, definitely we've got a lot of multi-sport kids here. I can tell you, just from the weight room this off season, most of our skill guys are playing lacrosse or baseball or something else. So as much as I'd like to have them here, they're getting experiences and making memories in those other sports. So it's all good.
Um, your dad was a Hall of Fame coach. Did you take anything from him to incorporate Willie Breon, by the way? Did you incorporate anything from him into your style, your way of coaching?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I think Dad, he expected the best, um, but he loved all of his kids, and that's my philosophy. Schematically, I've taken stuff from Dad. His defense, he had some pretty good defenses there at Chief Logan, and
Yeah, yeah.
I know when I was a defense coordinator at Susquehanna, I took a lot of his things there and had success there with a lot of the stuff that he did schematically, and but just the way he treated the kids and respected the kids, and I think most of them respected him, and that's what we're trying to do here in our culture. And um, the kids know we'll get after them when we need to, but they also know we love them in the end, um, and that's the philosophy we're going to keep.
One of your boys, Bo. How do you think he's going to do at Missouri?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think their offense, him being able to do what is or have an offense that's kind of up his alley as far as quarterback run game a little bit, or running the quarterback a little bit, play action and things like that's going to be good for him. The question is who's he have around him. I know they have some pretty good kids, and I think they had a pretty good transfer portal season. But playing in the SEC, they got Alabama, they got some.
Georgia.
Yeah, they got. Yeah, I don't think they play Georgia.
No, they don't play Georgia, right?
Yeah, when I was looking at it, I'm really hoping they can win 9 games, and go to a good bowl, but and maybe upset somebody. I think Eli Drinkowitz, their head coach, is a good guy. I think he's done really good things there in Missouri.
Yes, he has.
I think I got some video from him just on ball security stuff, and it was incredible the detail that he went into with it. But so I think he's a good coach, and and I saw something I was reading last week where they said that they were really surprised how well Bo can throw the ball. I think they were looking at Bo to be more of like a wildcat kind of kid too, but I think Bo has impressed them throwing the ball, which I knew Bo could throw the ball. I just don't know that he got I'd like to see him get a better, more of a chance at Penn State than he got, but I think it's a good place, good landing spot for him, and I'm excited for him, and hopefully he has some guys around him and they can make a run at some things and maybe sneak into the playoffs somehow, some way. But I thought that'd be really cool if they could sneak in the playoffs and have to get to play Penn State. I thought that'd be
an
interesting thing. But
that would be a nice story.
But, I think they've got a little bit harder road. I think the Penn State has, but I never count out Bo. I know the leader he is, and I know those guys will rally around him, and he'll push those kids to be a better team. So.
Yeah, that's.
You talked. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
You were talking about the Lesser Lumber Classic earlier. Actually, going to be on Friday. This version of it at Belfont. Just how big of a testament is it for your kids that had earned a spot to play in the Classic?
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, it's we have 3 guys in it this year. I think that's the most we've had in it. We had Patey and Cyrell got to play in a Big 33 East West. I think it's the first 2 kids that ever played in that from Mifflin County. So anytime you get recognized by other coaches, which is what these basically are, That's a good thing, and it's a testament to what the work that those kids put in. And I'm always excited for the kids to play. I'm really excited for them, see them play in these all-star games and compete against other good kids. And I think it's good for them. And I think Dupree Reed's going to a JUCO out in California. Hunter Tipton's going to St. Francis, which was D1. That they're going to go down to D3. Um, so Tippy was D1, defensive tackle, and then Brendan, our kicker, he's also participating in it. And that kid worked really hard, to be the best kicker he could be for us. And I'm excited for him to get out in front of some people too. He's going to Penn State branch campus, so he's not going to be able to play football in college, but he definitely could play somewhere if he decided to do that.
So you have the I got to get the right name for this. I get confused sometimes. Is it the second annual Husky golf tournament?
Yep. Mifflin County football. Yep, Husky golf tournament in Friday, June 27th.
Tee off is 1 p.m. Check in 10 to 12:30. Complimentary meal before the tee off. A complimentary Mifflin County football hat, and Shane texted me a photo of it. It's pretty cool. Good food. You can make checks payable to MC Football Boosters, or there's an online payment link at mifflincountyfootball.com. Excuse me.
Yep.
Mail the payment. You can mail the payment to Tara Reader or the online payment. Cash prizes, contest on closest pin, longest drive, putting contest. And then for the sponsors out there, you get, depending on your level, recognition at home games. Sponsor sign in with your company name and logo. So there's a lot of good things going on. Individual donations accepted. Before I get you out of here, talk about that website. That's brand new, mifflincountyfootball.com.
Yeah. Yeah, you're breaking up on me a little. I'm probably breaking up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said.
Yes, it should be good.
No, I said, tell me about your website. That's new, mifflincountyfootball.com.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I do for a living is web applications, and so I created a website. Try to just put all the information together that as far as even from starting from registration, steps that people need to take to get on board and register, and then our schedule and things are out there. There's links to PIAA, District 3, District 6. Things I just try to consolidate things that I know I use or could use and put it into one place.
Nice.
So we have an event thing out there. You see the golf tournament; they can register through the website too. Our youth camp, all the information for our youth camp, which is July 15th through 17th, is out there. And then our sponsors, like we were just talking about, our sponsorships. They're going to be recognized on the website as well. So you see a sponsor page there with all of them out there as well. So, and there'll be links to their businesses or links to their businesses and things like that. So give them recognition there too. So just trying to make it a one-stop shop really for Mifflin County football, and you're also trying to get an alumni group together. Just get information on former players in Mifflin County. Get their information out so they can maybe participate in some things. And I've got some plans in the future here, for the alumni stuff. But I think it's just pretty cool. We're trying to build on it. We have to, we have to offload some game videos, so I put them on a drive that people can access. Former players can access their games from Mifflin County if they played for Mifflin County. I don't have anything from Chief Logan or any of the other schools, but if you played for Mifflin County, at the beginning, up to I think 2018, I think I have a video out there. They can click on the alumni link and go to the video and download their games, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm just trying to, like I said, just trying to, get us on the map a little bit. We also have a recruiting thing out there, prospects. So when colleges contact me, I can say, hey, go to our website, and I'm going to have all of our college prospects out there by year, with their huddle link and their Twitter link. So it makes it easier for me and the college guys to communicate back and forth. I can just point them to that page, and they can go there and see our guys that are interested in playing in college. And so just trying to save some time, basically what it came down to, and have everything in one place. So.
Well, that's pretty cool. I didn't know you
Yeah,
did
it is.
web apps.
Yep. That's what I do for a living. So 7 more years of it, hopefully.
Wow. What do you think about AI now? I saw a site. I got on it. I know. I mean, it's okay looking, but it's really freaky. It built a complete website in 5 minutes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's funny
I
to
mean,
say. I was just
coded
playing
it
around
and
with it.
coded it and everything in 5 minutes.
Yep. Yeah, one thing I was looking at creating a statistical program. I was out playing around today, actually, a little bit, on Copilot, and I just typed in, create me a football statistic program, and it, with a player and stats, and it wrote a bunch of the code right there. So I don't have time to do that right now, but maybe in off season after this coming year, I might try to get something that we can start keeping stats with for our staff and things. But
So you're one of them.
Really amazing what AIs can do. It's scary too a little bit.
Yes.
I thought
you're really smart. You're one of them smart ones.
no, I wouldn't say that, but I like toying around with things. But AI is, there was just a thing, regarding student loans where hackers are getting in using AI and imitating, or getting information from somebody else and stealing their student loan money and things like that. So it's powerful, but it's scary at the same time. So
It is very scary. We actually had a meeting today. I did it remotely at the Sentinel, and they're going to start allowing the reporters to use AI for research. As long as they can verify the information is real.
Yep.
And it's scaring the hell out of me. Right now, it's not good at writing. It really isn't. It's robotic, you can tell. But the way it's advancing, eventually they're going to get better than us. And then Kenny and I are going to be at the unemployment line.
I'll be in the same boat, and I think there'll be a lot of other folks in other industries in the same boat too, unfortunately. But we'll have to adapt and figure something else out.
Yeah, because the way it's coding, the way when it first came out, it was doing basic things. Now it can code, which is putting programmers out of business.
Yep.
And eventually, it's gonna get good at writing. That.
Yeah.
Right now, it isn't. So Kenny and I are safe.
We're safe.
But it's gonna get good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you guys will always have the element of the interview and things like that. I don't.
Yeah.
It's going to go, But,
and no matter how good AI is, it can't put feeling and emotion into it.
Right.
But hey, Shane, thank you so much. It's always great. It's always great when you come on. I wish you good luck at the golf tournament. Great luck in the regular season. I hope I'm healthy enough that I can be at that stadium on opening night. And by the way, I'm going to do an announcement. He's 8 guys short. If you are built like Aaron Donald, Kenny and I will pay you to go to Mifflin County. And NIL money. Kenny and I will pay you. Could you imagine? Could you imagine Mifflin County runs out and there's a guy built like Aaron Donald?
Yeah, we'll have some big guys. I got some kids in the weight room that really put on some weight, so some muscles.
How has the weight room, the participation gone?
Like I said, a lot of our skilled kids are in other sports, so I haven't seen them as much, as I'd probably like. But our linemen have been working hard, and they're gonna reap the benefits of it. Decker Peach and Bo Reeder and Lane Lynn, and we've got some kids have been in there working really hard. So that's going to help us, on the lines, and we'll get these skilled kids up to speed when they can make it in here and get them going too. But we've had more kids in the past, but we've had we have more kids right now in multi sports than we had in the past too. So I just got to try to keep
Right.
that in mind, and work with the kids that are there, and give them the opportunities to lift, and work on what we can work on with who we have here. So
The reason why I ask, I won't name names because I don't want to embarrass them. Former Mifflin County football coach, I asked him, how's it going in the all-season weight room? How many kids do you got? He said, he looked at me really depressed, and said, I have 3 kids.
yeah,
I'm like, oh
yeah,
my God.
yeah,
3?
So we opened up. I know who you're talking about. I'm not going to mention my name, but
Yeah.
he volunteered to come in before school and give kids an opportunity that are in other sports to come in and lift. And I probably didn't communicate that with everybody well enough, but we had to hit about anywhere between 3 and 5 or 6 kids coming in the morning before school, and a couple of those kids, Decker Peace and some of the other ones, actually went in the morning and came and lifted in the afternoon too. So
That's good.
We got some good kids there that are hungry to play and hungry to get better and get stronger. So, but we only had that many in the morning. The good thing is too, it's open for any kid that's in 7th through 12th. We're lifting right now 4:45 to about 6, and then we come out and try to do some field things. But the 7th through 9th graders right now are welcome to come out and lift weights with our guys, and we've had about probably 10 to 12 of them showing up the last couple of days, the younger kids. So it's good for them to get a good start in there too. It's neat getting to know those kids, and a couple of them are really hard workers too. They go in there and they go about their business and get their lifts done, and it's really cool to see. Hopefully, we can, build that in the future, and they keep that work ethic and through their senior year, and be the best they can be.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Good luck
Shane.
this season.
Yep.
And people support the golf tournament, support the team. It helps. Everything helps.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach.
But everything helps. Thank you, Brian. Congratulations on your Hall of Fame induction, and thanks for everything you do too, Kenny.
Thanks.
Well, thank you. I'm just old, my friend. I outlasted everybody. That's it. That's my secret.
Unfortunately, we're all heading that direction, buddy.
Yeah. All right. You take care. Sorry for being late.
Hey, no problem. Take care, guys.
All right. You take care. That's Shane Breon. Awesome guy. Mifflin County head football coach. The golf tournament is the 27th, and tea time is 1:00. Good food. Have fun, man. It's great round the golf, and everything's good. And you get a nice hat. It's all purple, and it's cool. All right. Kenny.
Yes.
Bald Eagle area. State finals.
Yeah.
Again.
Again.
Sierra Albright, 12 strikeouts. 1 hit.
Tell you what.
And I did some research. Do you want to know something? I didn't realize they've been there that much. Do you know this is Bald Eagle area's 8th trip to the state finals?
Wow.
Now they've only won 2 of the previous 7, but it's their 8th trip.
Mm-hmm.
And Pine Grove, who they're playing, this is their 3rd. They're 1-1. It's going to be a pitcher battle because their pitcher, I think her name's, I forget her first name. I think it's Jolie Dinger. She went 1 hit as well, 7 strikeouts, no walks in their win over Mid Valley. So you said Albright's a junior, right?
Yeah, she's a junior, and she's had an amazing season this year. She has the most wins by any pitcher in Mifflin or in Center County. She during
Yeah,
that game.
I'm sorry. I saw in your hometown you wrote up that she has over 1,000 strikeouts.
Yep, she's also has the record for most strikeouts for a Center County pitcher. So um, she's a machine. She's a good kid too. You know, you have these kids that deserve the honors that they get. You know, kind of like last year with Juniata's pitcher.
Yeah,
Um,
Liz.
Liz,
Liz.
yeah, and you just root for them. And I think this is the year that they can do it because they can beat you offensively with the hitting, or they could go small ball on you. They've got a great defense to back up Albright. It just seems like if they can not get down early, I think they'll be okay. Um, Sometimes you get those early jitters and you pitch yourself right out of a game early on. But if they can be focused and uh, I think that would if they win that would be Don Lucas's second title, I believe.
Wow,
For
nice.
and
But go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and the other bald eagle coach that was our friend Dave Breon
Dave
from Mifflin
Breon,
County.
you bet.
Yeah.
But
So
I think this could be a rivalry for a while because that Dinger, the pitcher for Pine Grove, is only a sophomore.
oh wow.
Yeah, so it could be good. And
Hmm.
if Bald Eagle wins, it would be their third state championship in softball, their sixth state championship as a high school team overall.
Nice.
Because they had baseball. Was that 2 years ago?
I believe it was last year and the year before. They're back to back.
Oh, so they won two.
Yeah.
Okay, then it would be 7 state championships if softball could win. Because they have right now they have 6, 2 in softball, 2 in baseball, and 1 each in wrestling and track.
Mm.
Boys track. That was their most successful year ever. In '99, they were state champions in boys track and in wrestling.
Oh, wow.
Do you know who was their best wrestler that year?
Mm.
You're gonna know. Mike Maney.
That's what I was gonna say.
He was a
Yeah.
state champion. His second.
Mm.
Our other District 6 team came close, but Mount Union
Yeah.
lost to Faith Christian in the semifinals. But hey, that tradition, they're still doing it.
Hmm.
I mean, it seems like every year they get to the finals or the semifinals, and they did it again. So
Mm.
Faith Christian is pretty much a new kid on the block as far as baseball goes. Now, the last 4 or 5 years, they've been a hell of a wrestling power. They've won back-to-back state championships in wrestling.
Now, is that one of those teams too that does the recruiting?
Yeah, they're a Christian
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, which I do know this. Faith Christian wrestlers
Hmm.
are basically homegrown.
Wow.
Most of them. They are. They're not like other schools. Like Bishop McCourt. Bishop McCourt actually recruited a kid from Wyoming Seminary. They are always poaching other teams because they're a prep school. And he left the prep school to go to Bishop McCourt.
Wow.
And it's oh my God. He was a state champion, then went to Wyoming Seminary, and now he's going to McCourt. I can't remember. I will then. I'll give it to you next week if I don't remember. But do you got any shout outs?
Well, actually, we just took the only shout out I had.
Well, Wayne, I'm sorry. Let's.
No, that's okay. Yeah, no shout outs today, but I do want to wish some local teams some good luck this weekend. It's Mifflin County Cal Ripken All-Star team will be playing this Saturday at Rec Park, and I believe that'll be the 12U's.
Okay.
So they'll be playing at Rec Park. So they're playing at 10, 12, and possibly at 3 if no winner has been decided by then. And then the next week and weekend will be the others, the 10U's and the 11U's. So good luck to all the local baseball players. Their season just wrapped up last week, and so they're on to the second season now. So good luck to all.
Is State College in Ripken?
No, they're still in Little League.
Okay, because that's the one. Member State College would have two teams. One, they put these like superstars, and the other one was like, well, you're going to be our crap team this year. And we would always come up sometimes we'd beat them, but we'd come up a little short. So they're not in Ripken. Do you happen to know, because I don't follow it anymore, do you happen to know who Mifflin County's biggest challenge will be?
Well, I know last year it was Flood City.
Where that? Oh, Johnstown.
Juniata had some tough teams, Juniata County, but I don't think they're gonna maybe sport any all-star teams this year. But
okay,
trying to think. Perry County, I believe, was another one, but Flood City was the big one last year. That it was like 1 and 2 for Mifflin County. They for the All Stars. It's like
wow.
Yeah, so
because I can't believe I was that slow at first. Who's Flood City? Oh, of course, Johnstown. Johnstown.
So
awesome. I got a non-sports thing.
Okay.
Doesn't happen much, but we had a true legend pass away today in music.
Oh yeah,
Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. Now, his surfing shit, I hated. Hated it. But if you listen to the album Pet Sounds, it's a classic. Classic pop music. Paul McCartney called it the greatest pop album ever made.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Even better than Sgt. Pepper. He said. And so he really was. I mean, he had mental issues and stuff in his life.
You're right.
But he was a musical. He was a musical genius. Even that surf shit. Do you like that? Did you like that surf music?
No, I never got into that. The only one I did was David Lee Roth when he redid California.
Oh, California Girls. Yeah, because he put a sense of humor in it. But yeah, so it was nice stuff. He did some good music. Like Pet Sounds had God Only Knows, Sloop John B, Good Vibrations. He got away from the surf crap. And he wasn't around. He had left the group when they did that stupid Kokomo song.
Oh yeah. Yeah. When they brought in John Stamos for the drums.
Oh, I know, yeah. Jesse from Full House was drumming. Unbelievable. But yeah, he was a legend. He really was. So 82.
Wow.
Somehow you have that feeling rock stars shouldn't get old.
Yeah, unless you're a band member of the Rolling Stones. Then
yeah.
Forever.
And what I love about the Stones, my God, they're still making albums.
Yes, yeah, and touring. Weren't they touring?
Yeah. Pushing like 80. Well, there's only three of them now. Bill Wyman retired, and Charlie Watts died.
Hmm.
So, but, but hey, so what are you going to be doing? Anything, or are you taking it
Oh.
easy?
No, I've got my schedule pretty full this weekend. Uh, Tomorrow I'll be traveling up to your old neck of the woods, Snowshoe, and covering a Fox Pro game.
You poor bastard. Who are they playing? Clarence?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
And then Friday I've got a doubleheader. I got Bald Eagle softball championship, and then that's going to be at State College. And then at 7 o'clock, I'm moseying on over to the Lesser Lumber Classic. So,
Oh, that's right. Leather's going on.
yeah, so that should be a fun time. And then Saturday, I'll be at Rec Park covering the 12U Cal Ripken teams. And then the highlight of my weekend will be Sunday, where I get to be a grandfather and sit and watch my oldest in her dance recital down in
Awesome.
Greenwood High School. So,
Awesome.
yeah, busy.
Clarence plays right across from the elementary school.
Okay.
I used to go down there when I lived there and shoot hoops at the the elementary as I think 3 nets. I get down there and shoot. What else is there to do in Snowshoe?
That's true.
In Clarence, there's nothing.
Yeah, the highlight of that area was when the guy had the machete. You remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
That was scary, man. I used to deliver chips up that way, and that was that happened when I was doing, and not while I was there, but I mean, while during that.
Well,
time.
you're lucky you weren't there.
Yeah. So
I mean, yeah, Little Snowshoe, and you're like, did you hear about the guy who used a machete and chopped off the guy's head? What? What? That was big news up there.
Yeah.
I remember I was still living there.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, I was. We got a heart from one of your buddies and mine. Kathy. Kathy actually Reed.
Oh, nice.
Listen to what Treaster said. You never shot hoops. Yes, I did, Brett. I didn't say it was good. But we get bored, a bunch of us, and go down and play some pickup games. And hello, Kathy. How you doing?
Hi, Kathy.
Kenny was talking about you tonight before we got on the air.
Oh, yeah. Get me in trouble.
I shot Treaster, man. Did you ever see Treaster in his old Jaegertown Babe Ruth uniform?
Mm-mm.
He had this big ass curly bushy hair. I'm glad to hear it. How are the kids? How are the kids?
She's going to be a grandma.
Oh. Kenny didn't say anything. I was just kidding. Yeah, but it isn't as bushy as it was, Brett. No way, man. You had almost like an afro going.
It's funny you say that because I have back when I played a long time ago in the early 80s, I played church league basketball and he was refereeing. And I have pictures of him reffing with that big hair and the Chief Logan movie.
That'd be awesome. All natural. Yeah, it's true. I got to admit, in the 80s, Treaster, I had long hair, and I have to admit it, mine wasn't natural. I had a perm. Yes, I did. I looked like one of those guys in a hair metal band, like a chick, like a chick. Yeah, I heard that tonight from Coach Dupree's in the Leather Lumber game.
Good old.
Hey, Treaster, why don't you come on next week? We'll talk sports since high school's over. Answer me. Maybe Braden could come on too. No, actually, my hair was like a it wasn't like a Paul Stanley Kiss loose one. It was a freaking tight perm, baby. I admit it. I was one of those hair metal idiots in the 80s. I even had which obviously now I don't. They closed up, but I had my ears pierced. Oh God, I can't believe I'm saying this on the air. It's so embarrassing. You know, you think you're cool then. So imagine I got long hair. I would dress like a hair metal guy, earrings in my ear, and I'd go to the Star Garden bar and smoke you. You think I didn't have looks from people in there? Oh my God. I thought I was cool. I wasn't. I wasn't at all. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that. I feel better. Okay. Nobody will see this. I won't put it up. Brett, can you write your cell number out so I can text you? I won't put it up for anybody to see. Or I'll give you my number and you can text me. If you want mine, I don't give a shit who knows it. It's 717-348-8273. We'll get Braden on and we'll all bullshit about sports.
That sounds good.
All right. Thank you, Brett. All right. I'll let you know closer to next week. All right. Anything else to add, Mr. V, before we get out of here?
No, I'm pretty much out of sports.
All right, man. Well, enjoy your weekend and the rest of your week. I pretty much have nothing to do. So you take care of yourself, and
you too. Keep healing.
I'm gonna try. Do my best.
Yeah, sounding real good. Sounding strong. Keep her up.
Wait a minute. What is Braden lives in Mississippi now? Or is he going to school there or something? I gotta find out before we get off the air. I'm curious. I didn't know he was in Mississippi. Oh, cool. Yes, he is. All right, yeah, well, I'll just, if you come on, I'll text you the link and you can send it to him. and we'll get on and talk sports, particularly baseball. Into the second annual. What the hell was that?
Oops.
Oh, you recorded it.
Well, no, I was clicking on one of my on Facebook, and that popped right up. So
look at that. He's director of
Nice.
communication and sports information at Delta State. Awesome.
cool.
We'll have to talk about that.
Mhm.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Brett. Okay, everybody, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. For Kenny Varner, I'm Brian Carson. Thank you for listening. Sorry for being late. Have a great week and a great weekend. And we will talk to you soon.
Night, everybody.
Good night.